Absolutely buzzing today. Start of the March Madness tournament. Great weekend for sports. We're 1 week from opening day, though we did have two official Major League Baseball games in Korea already played. We will talk about those. But this is the 101 drafting weekend of MLB. So getting pumped up for that. Going to finish off as many dingers as I could possibly do and make sure we get the solo shot in there. But we're going to talk about some scroll the F down targets today. Talk a little bit about those Korea games, talk a little spring training, and then obviously we're going to rip a bunch of drafts, keep it primarily draft focused today. Nez, what's going on, my friend?
What's up, man? We actually have quote unquote real baseball to look at and to sort of care about, not for best ball, which is what's really important, but crazy to kind of witness meaningful games. And it really does put into perspective the benefit of scrolling the F down and how we're totally not scrolling the F down enough just by seeing some of these, like actually seeing real baseball. Like I was telling you, if Jurickson Profar hits a home run on that first game, like all of a sudden he is vaulted into the player pool. People will begin to draft Jurickson Profar if he does something in this game, and we were not drafting him before, and it's off of the smallest of samples. So it is a good reminder. It's kind of nice to actually see, like, oh yeah, there are 270 position players that play every single day, and we are not drafting nearly enough.
We draft 60 to 80 of them.
Yeah. It's very eye opening, and thankfully, I still have some bullets in the chamber left to make up for that.
Oh, that's great. Though we are not drafting hoops today, it is a little bit of the start of quote unquote silly season in the NBA. We just wanted to do a full fledged baseball show here just because the onus on filling the dinger and the solo shot and the new bunt three over the weekend there, so we can get the daily contest up and do a full breakdown for opening day next week. But just because we're not drafting NBA today doesn't mean we don't care, Nez. We love the guys in the NBA streets, and I got some shout outs from yesterday. Yeah. We had tell me if you heard of these guys before. 1, 2, 3 in the crossover. Sam Olson, T-Box, Chad G.
Sounds familiar.
Sounds familiar. T. Pestala took down the buzzer beater. Mike Zakarian chopped the main 2 nights ago. Full hoops guy there. And then last night, man, the main was littered with guys. Hot Sauce took it down. Andy, Jewish McCaffrey, Johnny Footballs, Lewis Bennett, all in the top 10 of the main last night. So, man, just community doing work out here in the hoop street still, even though it's quote unquote silly season.
Oh, it certainly is. It certainly is. I thought I was money last night with my main exposures because I was hammering 2 guys from the Grizzlies against these Golden State Warriors, and 2 guys from the Grizzlies actually put up 50 and 44 respectively. Wasn't the 2 guys that I was drafting in Desmond Bain and Jaren Jackson Jr. Instead, it was Santi Aldama and Gigi Jackson. You know what? Go ahead.
Feel like such a dunce for clicking Jaren Jackson Jr. over and over and over again over Jared Allen yesterday.
Oh, and Chet, baby.
Yeah, and Chet. Yeah. Oh man,
we love the game, but thankfully we can draft best ball where we don't have to face our losses until months and months down the
road. Let's talk some of that Korea series. Padres and Dodgers split a 2-game set out there. We saw Glasnow go 5 innings in the first game. We saw Yamamoto get tagged in the second game. I did not wake up and watch either of these games. I did some box score watching and stuff. They were on at 3 a.m. Pacific time. I'm starting to feel a little bit better, Nez, but I'm not feeling good enough to be getting up at 3 a.m. to be watching there. But yeah, any takeaways for you that you just saw box score hunting?
No, not really. I'm not going to lie. I didn't want to draw too much from, such a small sample, but I think we have some big time, acclimating to, that will take place. And I think this is a good reminder to not overreact whenever we have games stateside, let's not let's not freak out over what we see. Excuse me. A little disturbing to see Yamamoto get absolutely lit up, though. That has to be like a little concerning. And if you're somebody that full faded him, now is the time if you want to get some makeup shares, because he's gonna drop, man. He's gonna drop.
I did 2 dingers. Yeah, I did 2 dingers this morning. I thought the same thing. He went in the 3rd round of one of them. The other one, he did fall to the front end of the 5th round. So somebody on the other side of the board with an Acuna did put that pairing together, which was one of the first times in which I'd seen him fall all the way back to that side of the board. So you're definitely right about that. I was not buying Yamamoto the entirety of the season. I've been very skeptical about the Dodgers rotation just in general and how it's going to play out. I mean, they have 10 big league caliber arms that they're going to find time for at given windows. Like without even, okay, maybe I'll ask you this one because I looked it up earlier. Who led the Dodgers in innings last year and how many innings was it?
Who led the Dodgers in innings last year? I won't know off the top of my head. I have to think too hard because that is a good question.
Yeah, you don't have to think too hard because it was Clayton Kershaw. And it was
120, right?
It was like 130. Yeah.
Wow.
It was like 128 or 132, something like that. So, yeah. Anyways, but as alluded to in the chat here, some lack of Padres worrisome. The Crone Zone. We've been talking about the Crone Zone for a while.
Dude,
as a cheeky back stack there.
You've been leading that charge.
Dude, I think he's going to hit 3rd or 4th every single day, and it's not the best ballpark in the world to hit in, but the playing time FUD that was essentially there last year with Matt Carpenter and Nelson Cruz and these kind of guys, even Trent Grisham taking some DH at bats away, like to a certain extent, all of that is gone now, and they're just going to let him play every single day. So it was always a playing time thing with me, an accounting stats thing with me. But he's going to creep up into the player pool after a big night last night. This was the first game here that we're looking at, but this is the big night from last night with the 4 RBIs and 4 hits. But my biggest takeaway from just these 2-game series is a good reminder on the Dodgers rotation, just the amount of bodies they're going to circulate through, and B, the lineups. Just seeing the lineup constructions, both teams ran out the same lineup both days. We did see Jerks and Profar get hit for both days as well. So just things to be mindful, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like I said, man, you were on that Cronenworth call early. Like you were like, hey, we're not. No one's drafting Jake Cronenworth. So I think this is a good real life example of those like late window scroll the F down opportunities that Pete and we talked about, but Pete highlighted in the scroll the F down video where all right, the contest is 87% full. Cronenworth up to this point has probably been drafted 15% of the time. Like that's being extremely generous. You have a really good opportunity to get the cleanup hitter that hits behind Bogarts, Tatis, and the third, and then sandwich in between Tatis and Machado. Like, not bad.
yeah, exactly, right. Just some macro takeaways there. I like where we're both at there. Not to overreact, but just
I'm laughing to myself because I love Copper. Yeah, he's in the chat, of course, pumping the bags.
Bullish Sanga, baby. Bullish Sanga. Everyone talking here. There was a trade that also went down. Espinal traded from the Jays. He's a really good defensive player. Played a lot of second base, alluding to the fact that he made the All-Star team in 2022, where they just basically voted in the whole Jays infield. He was the equivalent of Orlando Arcia last year in making the All-Star team in 2022, a byproduct of a team that had a really good first half, that there was kind of like a hole at second base and they just voted the defensive guy in there. But it's just interesting that a team that we thought had so much depth in the Reds, and we talk a lot about the Reds on here because They're fun, they're emerging, and they play in the Great American Small Park, and they have 9 home games in the final playoff window. So, I mean, there's a reason we talk about the Reds so much just in general. But it's interesting that they made a depth move because you would think that Jonathan India would have just kind of like filled some of that role of the Noel V. And I think they were a little scared that the Fraley injury was going to be worse than it was because he took a ball in spring yesterday or 2 days ago, something like that. But yeah, anyways, just any thoughts about how it plays depth wise?
Well, I'm curious. Have you kept up with like the Matt McLean saga?
Yeah, there's the other one too. He's
That's
on
the big one.
short list. Mm-hmm.
He's getting a second opinion. I believe it's a shoulder.
Mm-hmm. And we were concerned about the oblique before.
Right. They are saying that he might need surgery, which is, I mean, it definitely seems like, you're not generally looking for a second opinion if you like the first one. And
right. Yeah.
I mean, up to this point, man, in my portfolio, I have 9. Yes, this is right. 9 different Reds position players drafted at any point in time throughout this draft season, which is by far the most of any team. Which is crazy because it's just like, just like based on the way that the news has changed. And yeah, it's pretty nuts. And it is interesting with like the depth add. It's like, do they like Jonathan India at all?
Right. Yeah. They there's a note right now on the Underdog site that he's still penciled for a util role. And it's like, what the hell, man? We had all these moving pieces take place in front of him. Thankfully, the Fraley one sounds like he's going to be okay. TJ Friedel sounds like 6 to 8 weeks. And then the Matt McLean is like a big up in the air. But Christian Encarnacion Strand, man, we were talking about guys that I'm scared to get caught with my pants down. I was really concerned about like a log jam for playing time for him, and because he had options and whatnot, that he would be kind of like the first one to see his way out if he struggled.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he's looking pretty solidified, and he's got 4 or 5 home runs in spring now. I'm gonna start packing my bags this weekend a little bit.
Yeah, I mean the FUD was correct, or the fade was correct before, like the entire Reds lineup just dropped like flies. Now it clearly makes a lot of sense to take this guy. A lot of playing time has opened up here, and I mean they've got India here in roster resource batting clean. I mean, first, who knows if he'll hit lead off, but one thing is for sure is he's going to be in the lineup like every day.
Yeah,
I don't know how he.
Yeah,
can. There's no way Espinal is supplanting him.
Right. Yeah. It's just if they hate the gloves so much at second base and they actually think India's a util guy, then they plug him in for like defensive replacement stuff. But I think India's way more than a part-time player. And he's got like 2020 upside, So I have drafted him now. Like I've officially taken him a couple times in that last round there.
He's in my player pool now. He wasn't before, but totally is now.
Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and jump back to Underdog for a second. Here, I got a bunch of names on here, and maybe stop me as I go, or I'll just ask you if you have a comment on each of them. I've tagged a whole bunch, maybe like 20 names here, not of the scroll the F down variety, just of kind of like guys that I think are movers, shakers, spring training adjacent. Okay. Shohei Ohtani. Is there any reason to be concerned with this gambling situation?
So based on the way that it seems like it's being handled, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think we have the whole story. It's pretty obvious that we don't, but the way that it's being handled is there's some major sweeping under the rug that seems to be happening. And I don't think MLB wants anything to come out that would, undermine their superstar in Shohei Ohtani in one of the biggest markets, if not the biggest market. So I don't think that Manfred's going to let anything bad happen here. But stay tuned. There's absolutely no reason to adjust him in your ranks because of this, but stay tuned because this is a really interesting story, and hopefully like Lols can do a show on this or something because
they talked about it today a little bit.
I missed it.
Yeah. So if you guys want a little bit of Ohtani hot take stuff, they talked about the interpreter and stuff. Scroll back and listen to Lols there because they did some good stuff, as they're prone to do. The next one, Aaron Judge, he made his way back into the lineup. Are we ready to shelf all this FUD with the toe, or are we taking Mookie Betts, etc., over him still?
Oh man, no judgment, but if you were not hammering Judge at this discount, like I am really sorry. There was no talk about him missing time. They're just managing an injury that we have known that they were managing, and the ceiling for him week to week is still elite. 13% Aaron Judge right now, so been doing my part to get over the field.
Okay, beautiful. Bryce Harper has still not played a spring game yet. Some lingering back concerns, blah blah blah. I'm not overly concerned, as there were a lot of games that were like, Florida is so spread out for spring training. They didn't want to put him on the bus because of the back hurting. They had a lot of road games, blah, 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 during the stretch in time in which it looked like he could be getting back to hit. There's a little bit of smoke that he would play today. I actually haven't looked yet, but just, are you any FUD here? He fell to 21 in one of my drafts, and I was able to pair him with Mookie Betts, I believe, this morning, and that was the first time I'd had that combo.
I don't really take a ton of Bryce Harper. I'm at even with even with the field on Bryce. So it's not because of this. It's just where he is and who I've been drafting in that round, kind of being a little more concentrated in the early rounds, but. Yeah, I wouldn't get like too caught up with that. If you like Bryce Harper, I would continue to slam Bryce Harper. Okay.
I love this hot take right here that Ohtani, DJ Gambling, bro, one of us, like the one of us meme. That's so good. Ohtani's not doing the Michael Jordan hiatus. Love it. Nope. GA, we're gonna convert you into a baseball bro this year, man. We're getting you. We're getting you.
We're so similar. The hockey bros and the baseball bros are one and the same, man.
Come on. Exactly. Steger, he should be moving up our boards just in general, right? Like it sounds like he's going to be
seeing it.
Okay. It sounds like he's going to be solidified in the end of the second round, early third, no matter what now. And some of those ones where he fell deep, we should be capitalizing on that closing line value.
100%. I mean, I'm there. He is one of my highest owned players, and you gotta fade a lot of really good bats to get there. But I'm at 30% Seager, and
wow,
that's
nice.
I'm excited about it. It just felt like he should be where those elite infielders are at that 1-2 turn, and he hasn't been. So, trying to do what I think is right.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. The other one that goes hand in hand with that, I got Josh Young down here. There were some comments from Chris Young that Josh Young would be ready for opening day. He said something, I don't know. I think it's actually in the comment drop down of this one. No, it's not. But it was like he'll absolutely be ready. He just started hitting on the backfields. Are we concerned at all, or are we just going ahead and stacking him up?
No, you should be excited. He's already fell during draft season, and now we got good news.
If Nathaniel Lowe is having a tough spring, does it matter to you at all? Their ADPs are almost side by side. Would you prioritize Jung over Lowe or vice versa?
100%. I have 2% Nathaniel Lowe. I mean, and I love the Rangers, so should kind of tell you everything you need to know.
Okay, cool. We'll take that one off the board there. Yamamoto, we talked about it a little bit with the Korea stuff. Are you concerned at all?
I mean, not really. I still think that he's going to be awesome, but it's hard to not get a little worried about that. That's a bad start.
On the inverse, are you bullish on Glasnow now?
I
He
don't know that
walked
my thoughts have
4.
changed on Glass now.
Okay.
Like,
They seem like similar bets, but Glasnow comes at a discount.
exactly, right? So,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I would much rather have Glass now, cost adjusted.
Okay. O'Neal Cruz shooting up boards here, 7 home runs in spring, exit velocity. We talk about him at nauseum. How high is too high when you'll stop clicking his name?
I mean, dude, we're getting there. It's hard. Like, sometimes I even like forget to scroll down and get Cruz because he goes so early now. It's wild. I mean,
Okay.
he's at you got him at 61 there at ADP. Ellie, what's Ellie's ADP? Like 40? Like they're converging
Yeah,
really
38 and a bit.
really fast.
37.
Okay, well he's actually moved up a little bit.
Mhm.
I mean, I love that the Cruz is getting the respect, but I'd rather have him at pick 80, like where he opened up. You know, this is it's getting a little rich, but you know me, man. Like it's not going to
Okay.
stop me.
How high is too high for Wyatt Langford? Also with 6 home runs, he had the Oppo Taco the other night. He had the grand slam to dead center. There, how high is too high for the steam on Langford? Are you comfortable with this ADP, or has he become a fade for you?
I definitely take him less right now,
Okay.
because I'm typically taking an infielder where he goes now. It's getting there. It's getting there. This is getting kind of crazy, but you know, we thought the same thing about Corbin Carroll, and it was just
Mhm.
like screw it. The thing is, I mean, if I'm giving advice right now, and you like Wyatt Langford, get him before they announce that he's making the opening day roster, because he is going to make the opening day roster, and that is going to send him up another 2 rounds.
Perfect. Good segue to 2 other young guys that are on the cover there. Jackson Holiday, do you think he will be on the opening day roster? Is his spring too good to ignore?
I that was like my original opinion, and then I got a little bit worried. I still think that he's just so good, and this team has World Series aspirations that I think he breaks camp with them.
Okay. Yeah, I'm starting to feel similarly. I think some funky things could happen. I was kind of bullish on Ryan Mountcastle like earlier there as a scroll the F down. I'm getting scared that they'll do something with like Santander to like DH/first base and kind of like move him there and axe the platoon of Ryan O'Hearn and Mountcastle a little bit, not entirely. I mean, playing time has a way of ironing itself out over the season with injuries, with whatever. But man, they have a lot of outfielders who are raking right now, and it's not the Mullins Santander tier. It's this young up and coming crop. Like, yeah, I mean, like between Heston and Cowser, sorry, and who's the other one?
They
I
got
had it
Kobe
pulled up.
Mayo, but isn't he? I think he's an infielder.
Yeah, I think Mayo. I mean, Mayo would be an absolute shock to make the team, even though he's playing well to me. But I don't know. Like, dude, they just got so many bodies now. I'm getting scared.
Yeah, it's quite the logjam for fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to be a little worried about how to play that. I mean, thankfully, or at least most of them are pretty affordable as far as draft prices go, and maybe if you feel confident that one of these guys can stick around for a whole season, then one of them probably smashes. But your guess is as good as mine as who to take there. Yeah, well, Westberg I think is a lock, right? Or at least sort of seems like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, they got so many first rounders on this team that are just like so talented.
Yeah, holy shit.
Um,
They did not miss.
yeah, right. Roster Resource has Cowser like on here. Who's the other one I was looking for here? Outfield depth. Um, yeah, Heston and Kyle Stores. That's the guy who's he's got 4 or 5 home runs right now in
Wow.
spring. So I mean, like everyone's making a case for opening day. They've been the best team in spring. I know nobody cares about like standings and whatever, but man, this young talent is like they're going to have a log jam in the way that we thought the Reds had a log jam with like guys that deserve to make the team, and it might come at the expense of like some of these like older veterans in like O'Hearn, Mullins, Mountcastle, Hayes kind of thing.
Yeah, it's problematic. It definitely is. Like they're going to be a fun team, but for best ball purposes, we got to make bets for the whole season. You're probably better
Yeah.
off looking elsewhere.
Yeah, I'm getting a little worried with some of the back end options there, but I've been
Yeah.
taking Jackson Holiday ahead of ADP now. He's just like shown enough making opening day. Um, let's do Jackson Churio as at the same time there. He's gonna make opening day. He's gonna be in center field every day. We kind of had a soft fade on him because he was so effing young, and we just thought maybe they'd go with like Joey Weimer or something like that and give him a little more time to develop. Are we getting scared right now with the Jackson Churio stuff? Are you going to start jamming him in that range as outfield 3 or 4?
I don't know about. I mean, definitely not jamming Churio.
Mm-hmm.
I still have a slight fade on him. Looking at my exposures right now, yeah, I'm at 8%, so like just at the field on Churio. This news doesn't really like change much for me. I honestly was making this fade under the assumption that he was going to play every day and be
Okay.
their everyday center fielder. It's just like I don't see the offensive output being worth a top 100 pick personally. And that's not a fun thing to say, and it's an easy thing to say. But I don't know that the power will play at the major league level. But
Mm-hmm.
he's expected to be one of the best players in the league sooner than later. So go ahead, and if you like shiny new things, go ahead. But I'm fine being even with the field.
Okay. How far should Matt McClain's ADP be falling now? Seeking a second opinion, blah blah blah. Are you going to take him at all? Can you take him at ADP, or should we be letting him fall? Like, what's the number?
Just because of the game, this is best ball, right? It's draft and hold for the whole season. I don't have him in my ranks right now. I just
Wow.
don't want to accidentally make the auto draft, because if I did accidentally auto draft Matt McClain at any point, I'd be pretty upset. So if
Okay.
that's the case, just take him out of the ranks. And that's, if you're asking advice, that would be my advice. Just don't draft him right now. It's not worth it.
Okay. All right. Does that same sentiment apply to TJ Friedel or no?
I think if Friedel's there in the 20th, like,
Okay.
or like the
That's it.
last 2 or 3 rounds, yeah, that would be it for me. I
Okay.
mean, playoffs start
Um.
early this season too. I mean, playoffs start before August. I mean, it's
Mhm.
July 29th, so I'm being, saying that on purpose. But I mean,
Mhm.
it's pretty early. You need these guys to play. Got to
Yeah.
advance.
No, fair enough. Last couple here. Blake Snell signed with the Giants. Good landing spot, good closing line value for those who were getting him to fall because there was FUD around him not having a team. Blake Snell's still Blake Snell, though. He's got 2 Cy Youngs under his belt, but he's also extremely volatile. This
Hmm.
park helps alleviate some of that. Dylan Cease in a very similar situation, contract year or 1 extra year of control with San Diego there, but extremely volatile pitchers with extremely good stuff and high upside. These are 2 guys that I have been aping all year and treating them like aces. Where do you think their new ADP should be? Do you think you're comfortable getting over the field on them? Blah, 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 right now.
I think that they're fine where they are. Um,
Okay. So they
th- I,
shouldn't rise based on their new homes.
no, I think they're already like you know, pretty fairly priced. I know that they have really strong upside cases,
Okay.
but we're seeing it in so many different ways with pitching. I mean, with the injuries that have taken place and I mean, the wide range of outcomes that can happen in a given week for a pitcher, like it's just a heavy investment to make. But both of these guys have had upgrades through the season. Like Dylan Cease, awesome upgrade in my opinion, and Blake Snow, very, very awesome landing spot. Even though he's not somebody that really needs the help of the park, he just more so needs himself to pitch well and not walk guys. But that's a big time dub for Snell drafters.
Okay, let's play a little 1v1 now. You still have Aaron Nola ahead of both of them?
Uh, no,
Interesting. Okay, so
no,
you kind of like them up in the
yeah.
glass now tier a little bit?
I would, yeah, I'd pretty much say that is like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah,
I don't
I
draft
tend
a
to
lot of
agree with
Nola,
you.
man.
Yeah, neither do I. I would take them both over. I would take them both over Webb and Nola and Kirby. I think I would still take Scooball and Glass now ahead.
Yeah, so would I. I think Logan Webb is in the same conversation as those two though.
Okay. All right. Sounds good to me. All right. Bone bruise for Eloy. Eloy was having a great spring. Eloy's been highly touted prospect, and the narrative is he could just never stay healthy. He is slowly turning into Byron Buxton adjacent without the speed component. Kind of scary. Are you worried at all? Are you pushing him down? Blah blah blah.
You said he has a bone bruise?
Yeah, bone bruise on his
Forget it.
foot.
I mean, dude, I have like one share of Eloy.
Okay, so you were never in on Eloy to begin with, so this just makes you more dismissive.
Yeah, good lord, man.
Okay.
This poor guy. I want him to succeed, but Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a really tough lineup. They basically have 3 big league hitters in that lineup.
Yeah.
4 if you include Jan Moncada bounce back potential in a contract year. But like they have 4 big league hitters, and if one of them's already hurt and he's injury prone with the tag in quotations, hate to use it, but that's what he's been thus far. So
Yeah,
and he's
hard to say otherwise.
Yeah. Michael King got low-key shelled. I mean, it is the Dodgers. He came in for 3 innings and a third yesterday, or I guess this morning. Are you concerned that they pitched him in relief at all?
No, that made sense.
Okay.
I mean, they still have spring training games left, like
Right.
the scheduling thing is so weird. I'm not worried at all that he pitched in relief.
Okay.
You don't like to see him get shelled, but I'll take
Yeah, I mean, maybe shelled was a little generous. He gave up 3 earned runs on 5 hits, I think, in 3 and a third.
Okay.
I will confirm that, so I'm not just completely talking out of my ass. Musgrove got shelled, like real shelled. He 7 hits, 5 earned runs, carrying over from basically exactly what he was doing in spring. Musgrove is kind of scary right now. I have not been taking a lot, but back to the King thing: 3 and a third, 4 hits, 3 earned run, 3 walks, but still at the 5 Ks. It came on the back of a Mookie Betts home run.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, when it's a home run, what are you gonna do? It's so much in one swing there to have against you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of Musgrove, so I'm really worried about that.
Okay. Yeah. We touched on the Christian Encarnacion strand, but he's a guy who's moving up my board now that the playing time looks solidified. He could easily hit 30 plus tanks in that ballpark, plus the playoff schedule. I'm gonna try and get me some CES over the weekend.
Yeah, I would love to have more of him. I just the ADP, I expect him to be in like the 200s, and he's already at 160. It's kind of crazy. Like I was still have that early fade mindset when drafting, and I need to put him in my player pool.
Okay, like it. Yeah, Svi adding the context here that the relief stuff, like the piggyback, was planned kind of deal.
Yeah.
So, all right, perfect. I actually didn't know that context, so thank you so much for that. I thought it was just because, hey man, he's had a history of doing this in the past, and the guy got shelled, and now we have a week off. Let's just throw him out there as the next guy up, and not completely give up on this game, but at least use a guy who's capable of it.
Yeah.
Next guy I have here is Kerry Bonds, Nez, and the reason I put him here is our guy, Best Ball Viper, hanging out in the chat right now. Shocked the world. He dropped some of his exposures on an Oppo Taco home run that Kerry Bonds hit this morning. With his exposure, he's got $1,500 wrapped up in Kerry Bonds at something like I think it was 48 or 51%. Correct me in the chat, Best Ball, if you're hanging out. But yeah, he is all in on Kerry Bonds. So I just wanted to add that one in to let you know.
That is so awesome. I am not there this season on him like I was last season. But holy shit, man, that is insane. Wow.
I love it so much. Love a nice exploitative stance like that on a back end outfielder who could find his way to playing every single day. Hopefully they play him against lefties. I mean, they got
That would
Andy
be really big for him.
yeah, they got Andy Ibanez who's a lefty killer there, but yeah. Hopefully he does enough and he could be what we hope Jackson Winsky is
Yeah.
at ADP.
Exactly. Yeah, which makes him a good click. I've actually been taking him more lately because I was not taking him a lot early in the season, but now I'm getting there. I'm starting to diversify more as I finish up.
All right, let's jump in. Nez, I'm gonna try and get at least two of these in. I think to now we got 5 more spots and a dinger. Let's get this thing filled up and rip it through.
Yeah, I've got. Let's see here. I did one this morning. I'm at 120 completed, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in session. So 23 more to max, man.
Nice. You're gonna get there for sure.
Yeah. It's a grind. I'm doing like two at a time at this point now when I am drafting.
Grinding, my friend. Yeah, I've been doing 2 at a time, just in general, because we're so accustomed to doing the dailies and doing them, quite briskly. But yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely tougher to do. Of course, best ball versus dailies in multi-table because there's so much more at stake, and you got to focus on correlation a little bit more with best ball. So I try to keep it like 3 max if I am multi-tabling, but it's a must at the end of the day. Like it's really the best way to do this. Oh, buddy.
Love it. Take awesome. A stand.
That is awesome.
Alpha.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what's up. That's what you got to do, man. That is
what's up.
take your guy. If Yordan Alvarez is the best hitter in baseball, fucking take him. 101, baby. Dude, best ball Viper is 60% Gary Carpenter.
There you go. Love it, man.
God, that is so awesome.
Elite.
Makes
Get you guys.
Like a coward.
Oh man, this big friends and family draft here. We're sitting right beside Paid and Dark Sheep, the Rocky Mountain Guru. Oh baby, Cam's always in this stuff. Corbin Carroll, Fernando Tatis, and Kyle Tucker. Nez, who would you like to select?
I think it's Tatis or Carroll. Oh, hello. What do you think, Tatis?
Sure.
All right.
I'm prone to take Tatis. I've been trying to get more Carroll in, but I've been prone to take Tatis over this tier for the majority of draft season.
You know where I'm at now is like if I'm at that Kyle Tucker pick, I'm taking Strider. And then if I'm at number 11 and Strider goes there, I'm taking an infielder.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know why I have such an anti-bias against Kyle Tucker whenever he can do so much damage, but I don't know, man. I just keep thinking, I'm like, if we knew for a fact, I brought this up before in Discord, but if we knew for a fact that Matt Olson was going to put up 1,800 points again, would we really be taking him back here? Would we really be like waving 1,800 points if we knew?
Just because of the positional designation, basically?
I think that's really bad.
All right. Let's make a decision here. Ned, sorry, we got Schwarber up here.
I'm okay with Schwarber if you want to.
Let's do something else. Let's do Riley. I never do Riley.
Cool. Okay.
Riley's become a guy that I've accidentally passed on.
Yeah, I don't take a lot of Riley. And I don't take a lot of Schwarber either.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's probably because honestly, you're a duelist.
Yeah, I'm an Adola slappy. And I've been fortunate with my my draft positions, I've ran really cold at 11 and 12, which is a blessing, but a bit of a curse because, there's some big time projections in that range with Olsen and Freeman and Witt that, like, I'm getting a little nervous. It's like, if these infielders have monster seasons,
Yep.
I can I'm just picturing the board next season, and we're going to see more green where we're seeing yellow, and we're going to start to really put more emphasis on that flex spot as basically a fourth infielder. And if you are drafting 4 infielders, if you were telling yourself you're starting 4 infielders, why are we not treating that position like wide receiver? And instead, I think we have the wrong position, kind of prioritized. I get it, that there are less elite players, like the cutoff, and we see the data and the points scored are steeper, but I don't know. Do you think I'm wish casting or, being a little?
I think you're wish casting based on your own draft strategy right now, but I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. These infielders are going to score a shit ton of points that are going to be a lot more than the outfielders that go in that range, most likely. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe also now is the time to implement that strategy more so in the past, Nez, because we know more about the outfield landscape.
That's a good point too.
So like we know who are going to be some scroll the F down outfielders or who are more geared to playing time to make rosters, who are playing well. We have some data. Whereas like early in the draft window, it was like, holy F, you have to just go ahead and get outfielders because you're going to get hung out to dry. Now there's kind of like a dead tier at outfield that's kind of like a wasteland in the middle where there's a bunch of injured guys or guys that are, pushed up artificially.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really well said. I mean, that is like a really good point in adjusting how you draft at this point in the game. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's something I gotta start implementing more over the course of this weekend because I've been very balanced in my constructions thus far. I've been doing a lot of through 12 rounds, I'll have like 3-3-5 or 4-4-4 or something like that. I guess 3-3-5 doesn't even add up. 3-3-4 or
I'm pretty balanced too. I mean, I'm not doing a lot of different stuff, but one thing that I do want to try to implement a little bit more is like some 5 outfield stuff where like really lean into okay, if I'm spending capital at outfield, like cut it off and plan on only starting 3 of these guys. Yeah, I'm not doing so much 6 pitcher anymore. I got that in good, and knock on wood, man. I've been running pretty pure on my injury luck and not getting too heavily affected. So hopefully that can continue. I'm calling that skill at this point and not just luck.
Let's take someone I never really ever take, and let's take Francisco Lindor right here.
Yeah, dude, I don't do a lot of Lindor either. I don't know what it is. Like, all he did was put up 1,500 points last season.
Yeah.
It seems like a quiet 1,500, other than the slates where Lackey 5 stacks the Mets and wins it all. But I mean, it really does seem like I don't think of Lindor as this much of a offensive stud. I just think of him as a great real life baseball player. I got to get these biases out of my head, man. Why am I so lukewarm on Lindor?
Yeah, I don't know why I am either. It's probably just the position thing. Best Ball Viper alluded to that I've gone purple with the headband. That's how you know we're on a downswing. That's how you know we're down bad right now. When I switch up the emote to the purple, it lets everybody in the community know. Yeah, very interesting to see what the 101 did there. I actually like that he didn't do the Houston double tap because the Houston double tap is sometimes available on the other side of the board, but you get a second rounder with it. So I think it's a weaker version of the Houston 3 stack if you do it on the left side of the board than on the right side of the board. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Yeah. I'm trying to I want to like Galbrain another way to kind of do with that what he did there.
So what I really like about what he did is he took two guys that basically never fall back to the Rotorun drafter on the other side of the board.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah. GM Angelina. Thanks for joining.
I'm starting to take a lot more Mike Trout too, by the way.
Good.
I wasn't
Rightfully
for a
so.
while. I know.
He's got 4 steals in spring, dude.
No way. Why is he stealing in spring?
I was looking the other day.
Dude, like chill
Hold on.
out.
Let me confirm. Oh shoot, we're on the clock.
Yeah, I don't want you to draft Yamamoto here.
Castillo or Nimmo to stack.
Ooh, dude, you might need to do your Nimmo. This is when Nimmo makes sense for you.
This is the second time I've taken Nimmo today, and those GA was clowning me in the chat earlier. Those are my first 2 shares of Brandon Nimmo. So
proud of you.
I won't get completely hung out to dry, but
I'll be right back. Sorry.
Yeah. We're alleviating some of our previous biases here. I'm gonna find the spring training MLB leaders for a second. I was looking just through some of it earlier. Wyatt Langford up at the top here. I'm gonna go ahead and find the Angels. Man, Angels suffered some injuries. What's going on here? That's a little strange. Oh, there we go. Oh, maybe it wasn't Trout who was running. He's only got 1 steal. I lied to you guys. This is why we double check our work. It was Joe Adell who was running all over the place. Can we go back to the Joe Adell well in the 20th round of these drafts? Yeah, man. Never pitcher is the sentiment around here for sure. The Yamamoto fall, man, it's going to happen, Noah. It's happening like in real time. I saw it happen this morning where he fell to the back end of the 5th there. I don't know that one start should shift our biases this way. If you guys watched there's a pitching ninja gif where people were talking about was he tipping his pitches today, and man, are his mechanics rock solid in the overlay. Like he wasn't tipping anything. So I mean, guys have bad starts. It just happens. But the thesis on the Yamamoto stuff always was like that rotation is going to be 8, 9, 10 guys deep, and the Dodgers cut everybody off at 5 innings. Like it's just what they do. So I don't know. I was always a little skittish on him, but I think he's probably a fine, 5th or 6th round pick still.
Yeah, I caught the tail end of that, and you're right. I mean, the inning ceiling is certainly capped for Yamamoto. Mm-hmm. And the propensity to, not run guys as often as other rotations do, aka, what's the 2-start ceiling for Yamamoto? And it feels like other guys have better opportunities to start twice in a week compared to Yamamoto.
Yeah, I agree. Here's the overlay I was talking about, because they were talking about he got hit so hard. Was he tipping his pitches? Look at how solid this is.
God damn. He's got such a weird delivery. I feel like it's got to be – you would think that would be tough for hitters, but apparently not.
Little slide step?
Yeah, I don't like that.
It's effortless looking.
Uh-huh. I've heard – I forget where I heard this, but there was some talk about and you got to be careful when you talk about this stuff, but like fastball pitch shape, like some of that can be a little bit fugazi. But I mean, if he's only throwing 95 and if it's true that the shape isn't ideal, that's a problem.
It's a fair point, man.
We'll see.
95 is not what it once was. Like blow you away, like change the game fastball. 10 years ago, 95 might have been that. Like it just doesn't play the same anymore. You need it to move.
Yeah. Did you see that tweet from Brent Rooker? I forget what it was in context to, but he was comparing 100 and 92.
Yeah.
He was saying that 92 like 100 down the middle is significantly harder to hit than 92 on the corners. Like he said, it's not even close.
Yeah. That makes sense to me.
Kind of funny.
Yeah,
Which,
only
again,
95, Blake. That's the new era, though, man. Like these guys throw so effing hard.
yeah, I mean, dude, Mitch Keller was throwing like touching 100, 99 without any sort of other like ancillary fastball or cutter, to go along with that, and it was getting rocked.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing.
Yeah, like Maddox never threw 95. Yeah.
Well, Greg Maddux is that's why Greg Maddux is Greg Maddux. They don't make him like him ever. What do you think, man? Little Machado here, or is that too chalky for you?
No, we could do the Machado stack. I was gonna say Machado or Jazz Chisholm.
I like either of those guys.
Pick
Machado.
Okay.
Let's fall for the seal steam.
We saw Yamamoto fall to 52 there, and O'Neal Cruz taken ahead of
because that's our boy, man.
At 51.
That's Cowboys. He's always chirping us on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, the Cruz steam is out of control. There's other sites where he's going in the fourth round too. Like it's crazy. And I did a draft with with like my home league with Pirates fans, and it was salary and auction, and I mean it was crazy. Crazy how high he went. It's a fun league because it's salary cap, right? So there's auction and salary cap, which is like it kind of feels like the same thing, but it's not. Trust me. And we do arbitration voting too in between off season. So like if you got a player at a good value, each owner has $2 to allocate to your team, so everybody can just like arbitrage or arbitration bomb you on one guy. O'Neal Cruz, like he didn't play at all last season, and people still hit him with the arbitration tax. It was hilarious, man. People love it.
We have the Cole decision here. This is a sweet spot for me to take first pitcher as my 6th pick here. Yeah. I usually go Scooball, Snell, or Cease here. Who do you like?
Scooball's fun.
Okay. You like Scooball better than the Snell and that tier?
They're so similar, dude. But if we get a full season of Scooball, that's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's crazy that we don't have like any discount on them, but I get it, right? I mean, the field is sharp. The dude has nasty stuff. Pitching is just so interesting. It's such a different thing than hitting, but just as far as like fantasy goes and the way that pitchers rise and fall out of like fantasy relevancy is just it's eerily similar to running back.
It is. Yeah, exactly. Exactly took the words out of my mouth. But the one thing that I don't think we talk about enough, and it's going to become very, very evident once we start playing the dailies and stuff, that this scoring format in best ball, how weekly scoring is done, and the fact that there's no punishment over the entirety of the season of, I can't start Blake Snell against the Dodgers. I can't start Blake Snell against whatever versus like a managed league is all we ever want to encapsulate is ceiling in this format, period. Because there's no downfall. You're never going to have a week where you have 7 pitchers on your roster where you score negative. It's impossible. Whereas if you're playing in a cat league, like you have to worry about the times Dylan Cease gets shelled or the times that Blake Snell gets shelled. Nah, man, it doesn't matter. Like Blake Snell can still give up 5 earned runs. And as long as he has like 10 or 11 Ks, he's probably still going to score for you that given week. So like the way we view pitcher changes so drastically on Underdog versus like other platforms, right?
Yeah. I would love to have one of our data nerds out there kind of look at, maybe a couple of different exercises with pitching data, but one of the things I would love to see is like the highest separating weeks for a given pitcher, not necessarily like the highest scoring week, but like what week did a pitcher separate the most? and by like what percentage of points did they separate by. I think that would be really, really interesting to see.
I think we have it somewhere because baseball was tracking week over week scoring, but the pitcher stuff got a little funky for some reason. We have the hitter data. I know that somewhere, but maybe I'll look in a second here.
Okay.
Garrett Cole still falling here. Turn me up saying he likes the Dark Sheep start there. Judge falls to 6 to him, but he still pairs it with left side of the board guys in the Simeon Seager stack. Bo, I take a lot of Bo. Then he's got the Evan Carter stack, and then starts. I mean, that looks very similar to a lot of teams I've been building recently, where you take your ace in the 6th round or whatever. Let's take Cole Reagans. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it, man. I'm so high on him.
This is like really how I just like to build, Nez, where it's like we got some really stable, good premium bats to start that are balanced across the positions, and then we just take 2 shoot the moon ceiling arms that could turn into. They could return 1st round value. They could return 25th round value.
Yeah, hopefully not the latter. But the one thing I like about Cole Reagans is that I kind of talked about this before, I think, but the Royals are not very good, but they are playing to win. Like they spend money. They are going to try to win. They're not trying to be a laughing stock. They're trying to be bad. So if Reagans is healthy, I don't think there's any risk of them like shutting him down, limiting innings, or anything like that. Like if he's healthy, they're gonna trot him out there and they're gonna throw him as long as he's pitching well. So yeah, I truly do believe that sentiment, and you've seen it in years past where the Royals, haven't been good, but they are like they signed Benintendi like strangely, they spend money, they're just not very good. So
yeah,
I don't
know. Pretty good pitch to park in, or pretty good park to pitch in outside of like some weird hot wind blowing out days, but the playoff schedule is also kind of nice. They're at Cleveland, then they get at Houston, which isn't great for a 4-game set, but if he dodges that, then he gets Cleveland at home and Minnesota at home. So, I mean, if he gets 2 starts in that week and one's against Minnesota and one's at Cleveland and, one's at Cleveland and one's at home versus Minnesota, pretty legit. Is this a big enough fall to consider Cole, Nez, or can we still let him keep going, take Gleyber Torres and or Jackson Chirios, or stack Xander?
I would maybe do Torres or Churio, man. I don't think this
let's take Churio. Okay, let's take Churio because we don't usually, and let's shoot the moon after only taking 2 outfielders thus far.
Yeah, it's worth it.
What's the price tag for Cole then if we're passing on him in the 9th round right now? 8th round? Sorry, 8th round.
It's got to be past pick 100 for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like the risk of injury, even with this slowness, is still really high. The volume ceiling does not seem very high. There's just so many things to worry about with this Cole stuff.
Pitcher's getting thin in a hurry, man. Like,
what'd you say?
As much pitcher's getting thin in a hurry.
Yeah.
As much as like we love this middle tier and whatnot, like we can poke holes in tons of it now. And some of our like scroll the F down guys are getting like sketchier and sketchier because of like injuries, and guys are funneling to like the same guys. We got to find like a new tier of scroll guys to start filling out 7 pitcher builds.
Yeah, it's getting like harder and harder because guys are rising up too that are typical like 20th round picks. Flaherty is getting up there. My boy Chris Sanchez is getting up there.
Kyle Harrison, Bryce Miller.
Yeah. Bryce Miller's for some reason still pretty affordable, which I love. But it's you gotta take them a little bit earlier than you did before. and it's leaving me to, a little unfamiliar in the 19th and 20th rounds now, because my favorite guys, I gotta take them sooner now.
Question: what build would you put Garrett Cole on? Let's use Dark Sheep's team and our team as an example. Actually, let's not use Dark Sheep's because he only got 3 pitchers. Let's use Rocky Mountain Guru right beside us. He has 4 pitchers: Castillo, Gosman, Webb, Steele. Seems like a super good rotation start. Would you add Garrett Cole at 103 as a 5th pitcher and then shut it down at 6 and shoot the moon? Or would you be more likely to go add it to our team where we only have two pitchers thus far and they're way less certain than those previously mentioned names?
That's a good question. I think I would probably take Cole with more volume, so like 7 or 8 pitching build. But if you have 6 pitchers full of studs and Garrett Cole is one of them at an extreme discount, that's something that I would have done like a month ago. Now my thoughts have kind of changed.
Okay.
Damn, dude. I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to.
Or Morel. Let's do it.
I would say Morel, but
see how far it'll fall. Let's do it. Let's see.
Okay.
Won't throw for several weeks. Let's see what happens. 9th round, Garrett Cole. That's the furthest I've seen him fall outside of one slow draft, I think.
Yeah, this is crazy. I get it though. Like I don't know that I would have taken him there if I was drafting by myself.
Right.
But like I said too,
yeah. Let me 1v1 it for you.
Okay.
Who throws more innings this year?
Okay.
Max Scherzer or Garrett Cole?
Damn, that's a good one.
Their timelines are getting way closer, man. And Scherzer was going undrafted early, and you could still get him in like the 16, 17, 18 range now.
I think Scherzer. Everything on Scherzer has been pretty bullish.
Yeah, it has. And they need the pitching too. Like they
do.
Re-sign
and the lack of moves. All they did was sign Lorenzen, which good signing.
That's actually a good point. Yeah.
But
Lorenzen was an all-star last year with a no-hitter, and he gets signed to a 1-year, like $4 million deal. Morel comes back to us. Let's take him.
Yeah. Do you think we should be drafting Jake DeGrom in the 20th?
No. I was doing it with Scherzer earlier. I think DeGrom's. I mean, I know he started a program. I think it's too far.
I think we're only going to see him maybe like it'll probably be like playoffs, and you're never going to get a 2-start week out of him. I don't think so, right? Like that.
Yeah, I fully agree with you.
What these guys that are so injury prone, why would they push them to start twice in 1 week like that? Like it just doesn't seem. It just doesn't seem logical from a team standpoint.
Yeah, especially with World Series aspirations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why
would you push that? Unless I guess
their dream is to get back to DeGrom to start 3 innings, 4 innings, something like that. Like there's still going to be a ramp up period. So he's going to come back and he's going to play 3 innings. He's going to strike out 9. He's still not going to score for you. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. For our game,
there's no quality start. There's no win. There's nothing. And like the way we got to think about starting pitchers, like running back, is, you talked about it last year with running back, where it's like, I just want to fade zeros at the position, is what you said in the offseason last year. I mean, starting pitchers kind of the same deal, because like we just have to assume that when we're drafting 7 by August, we'll be lucky to have 5, on almost every team.
Yeah, it's the truth. It really is. I mean, we've already seen it. We've already seen all these guys starting out on the IL. It's tough. Somebody in the chat made a point. I think it was Julian talking about Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray's a really good pick right now.
With the hamstring?
Yeah, he's I don't think he's going to start opening day, but I don't think he's going to need any IL time.
There's two other guys exactly like that. Braxton Garrett and Nick Lodolo.
Well,
Who are both
Lodolo is going to be on
pitching.
the IL, I think.
Yeah, but he's back April 10. Like, it's going to be like a 7-day to start. It's like he's skipping one rotation.
Oh, wow.
Allegedly.
Dude, that's tough because I've been talked off Lodolo, and like we've done a draft where I took him and like was gloating about his stuff, and I mean it doesn't change anything. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm like nervous.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. It's just a thought. Nick dropping by to say what's up. Juice McCaffrey in here. What's going on? Dark Sheep in a stream draft. He's trying to up his volume right now. What's up, buddy? Yeah. There goes Michael King. So no Michael King FUD whatsoever. I mean, I can't take the Reds, guys. They're basically off our board, as we alluded to there. This one feels like Darvish to me, or Sonny Gray, aforementioned.
Let's do Darvish, man. I know that like you take him a lot. And we're trying to mix up here and there with your guys, but I really like your call on being bullish on you, Darvish.
Okay, cool.
I really think that was smart, and I've been trying to take him a little bit more since you put that on my radar. That like, hello, it's you, Darvish. Like, let's take him at pick 150.
He's old, but his ballpark's still good, and he's got 9 pitches.
Yeah, like he's a buy for sure. I wish I had more.
Yeah, King over Darvish. I mean, like my thing with Darvish was also construction related. Is I was doing a lot of exactly what we're doing right now with this style build.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where it's like, what do you want to back up Cole Reagans and Scooball? Well, I want a horse like Darvish, an innings eater guy. Noah, there's a 0% chance this draft gets thrown out. This is entirely fine.
Yeah, it looks goofy, but they're way like when it comes to season long stuff, they're not. Yeah. This isn't close. Yeah. You do enough of these, you start to you realize what sticks around and what doesn't. That's
right.
It's weird, but it's fine.
Yeah, and he's taking all like completely fine baseball players that are in the player pool.
Yeah, it's just strange.
Yeah, these picks are entirely fine.
What can we look at the 12 pick though? Because I mean, I see a lot of pitchers, and I know he started off. He's got a balanced team, but he's kind of doing in blocks there. You see that?
Yeah, 4. All right, time for 4 pitchers. That's awesome. So he's 4-4-4 through 12 rounds, but he did it 4-4-4.
That's awesome.
That's great. All right, we got Are we warming up to Varsho? He's having a really nice spring.
We probably should, but dude, I don't know. Like, are we gonna?
Okay, let's make this. Let's make this pick. Chaz, Varsho, Kim, Stacks. Actually, I don't like Kim. Vinny P. Volpe.
I'm a Vinny P. stan.
All right, let's do it.
Although it is getting like tougher because I have to decide between him and Josh Naylor, 1v1, and I think I might like Josh Naylor more in a 1v1, but play the ADP game.
Yep, fair enough. I mean, nobody's taking at bats away there. Hey, shout out to our guy Matt.
Let's go.
Killer Bees. Little 20 spot for the kids. Hit that like, please and thank you. Yes, thank you for doing the good work for us.
Thank you, Matt.
Yep. The guru who gave us D'Amico Ryans last year.
God, just overly sharp. Put him behind the paywall. It's too good. Too much info. Too much alpha. Wow, Julian in the chat says he has 38% Jordan Walker. Wow. Have you noticed any Jordan? I don't know how much you've been, noticing Jordan Walker price, but I swear I've seen him been falling lately.
Yeah, he fell this morning's draft to me, but yeah, I wouldn't say I've like noticed it. He just hasn't been like you'd think he would get like the Wyatt Langford steam treatment, young guy came up last year, like decent profile, hitting for power, looks to have an everyday job with Tyler O'Neill gone, and Harrison Bader and all those guys gone, but he never got that treatment for whatever reason, you know?
Yeah,
So I do know what you mean. I don't know that I've noticed him like falling a great deal.
yeah. I want to do a comparison. So he's I'm sorted by rank. He's ADP 85, and Riley Green is ADP 85. Like they go right next to each other. I see them as like very similar profiles. Riley Green and Jordan Walker, where they kind of have a ground ball problem.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
but the exit velocity for both of them is really really strong.
Okay. Yeah, I view. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I thought Jordan Walker lifted the ball more, but maybe I'm just flat wrong on that. And then I thought Green ran more than Walker. That would be like the only two things.
Yeah, let me see. All right, we're on the clock here.
Yeah. Should we do Encarnacion Strand? Push him up a little bit.
Who are we taking him over? Anybody that I staked my claim on? Doesn't look like it.
No.
Yeah, let's take him, man.
I would say in this range, though, that like the Newt Bar timeline feels a little bit better right now.
He falls like crazy right now.
Yeah. I wonder if we should be taking Dylan Carlson. I took him one time, but he could play everyday center field. He's got 3 or 4 home runs in spring leading that team. I don't know. You don't want to get caught up in that kind of stuff. They've loved him. They didn't give him up in the Juan Soto deal, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Maybe Dylan Carlson should be getting a little more consideration, especially if Newt Barr is going to be on the IL to start the year.
Trying to. I'll tell you what, man.
Scroll.
Yeah, I think. I mean, there's so many guys that you can make a case for. Dylan Carlson is a real case. It's just a matter of the playing time, which is a big question mark right now. But if you could guarantee he gets 550 plate appearances, yeah, then we should be drafting that guy.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of a sentiment you could say about a lot of guys, like just like almost anyone. If you give me 550 plate appearances,
right? I mean, a lot of these. That's the point of the guys that we draft is like a lot of the guys that we are drafting have pretty projectable playing time.
Right. That's true.
Yeah. Like Dylan Carlson has roadblocks.
Yep. Fair enough. All right. We're going to start scrolling here.
How many pitchers do you want to do with this squad with Garrett Cole?
7, I think.
All right. Well, that means 3 more, and we've got 6 picks left.
Who's your favorite outfielder of this group? None of them stack.
Does Verdugo not stack? No. No. Bryant, get a Coors guy.
Okay.
They've got him at first base, so that should be better for his health.
Yeah, it should be. Interesting context here. Atozo? 20, adding that Walker's been striking out a lot in spring, pushing people off. It's a good shout.
Yeah. I don't know what to care about in spring, if anything. You can't just
lineup slot, hard hit rates, stuff like that, mainly.
Yeah.
Jordan Walker has played 16 spring games. He's got 41 ABs. He's got 10 hits, so he's hitting 244, 1 home run. He's got 14 strikeouts in the 41 ABs. Wow, Paul Goldschmidt has 16 strikeouts in 38.
How many?
16 in 38.
Oh, buddy.
Wonder what he's working on.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if guys are striking out, like, how much should we really care?
I care more for a guy like Walker than I'd care for Goldschmidt.
Yeah, yeah, right. Like, we have the sample size with Goldschmidt. We know not to care. Dude, he's been old Schmidt for like 3 years, and I continue to fade, and I continue to get my ass beat for it. So I'm just still lingering in my head is like that slow start he had with the D-backs in like 2017. He got off to a slow start that first like month or two. I'm like, oh man, he's losing the bat speed. Like, is he still got it? And that was when he was a D-back. Like, and then he won MVP.
That's so true. Cheers McCaffrey asking what you think of O'Neal Cruz 30-30 at plus 900. I would say that the latter 30 is much harder than the first 30 for a guy like that coming off of an ankle.
Agreed. If I was able to play that somewhere, I would play it though. That's fun.
It is pretty fun.
A lot of that is baked into the fact that he's not projected for 30 home runs. Like, you can get his like on Underdog, for example, for a pick'em for his home run season, it is like 27.5. That's I mean, I know it's not, dude. It's 23.5. Like, I know who I am.
Oh wow.
But like, that's low, dude.
That's
low. Like, are we serious?
Guys got 7 in spring.
Come on.
Yeah, these ADP fallers. We hit on a bunch of them. Rosen at the top there, like the Kelnick one, pretty self-explanatory. He's had a really bad spring for a guy who traditionally has good springs, and they signed Adam Duvall. The Newt Bar one is a health-related thing. TJ Friedel's a health-related thing. He's going to be 6 to 8 weeks minimum, and the risk is always a power zapper. And to be honest, TJ Friedel was a guy that was like, he had, warning track power. He had wall scrape power to begin with. So now you add a wrist injury, and look out. Brandon Fott or Tovar for the stack would be my 2 picks.
Ooh.
Here, Nez. Which do you prefer?
You want to get Corsi?
Sure. Let's do it with Tovar.
Let's get Corsi.
I don't do a ton of Tovar. I do a lot more McMahon just because of the cheaper price point, and I think he's a better hitter, but I don't actually know that. And Tovar's still young and developing and could have another gear in the bag.
Yeah, he's a decent little spring for him. I mean, one thing for sure is like there's no issue for playing time with him. They've got nobody in course, right? I mean, what do you think the win total is for the Rockies this season? I haven't checked.
I think it'd be bullish to be 61, 63.
You're spot on.
What is it?
60.5.
Yeah. And that seems hard to buy.
And then what the White Sox? Any guesses there? I mean,
the division shittier. So I think maybe 63.
It's the same thing, basically. 61.5. Yeah, I immediately was like, that was dumb. But 2 just really, really, really bad teams. I mean, can you name 3 starting pitchers for the Rockies? Sorry, we're up.
That's a great question. Hold on one second. Fuck, I was not ready for this. Nestor?
Yeah.
He's kind of safe.
Opening day starter, baby.
Yeah. I've been mixing him in more so late. You know, a guy that I haven't taken at all it's just because I have like a biases towards the strikeout rate and him getting hit hard is Stroman. I don't take a lot of Stroman.
Neither do I. And The Athletic did like a piece asking like members in baseball to rank pitchers, and they had Stroman like up there kind of high.
Yeah.
It's like interesting. Bobby Miller was another one that was really, really high.
If a righty can be crafty, he is a crafty righty. Like,
Yeah.
Eno did some stuff about the fastball and fastball movement, and his grades out pretty well, even though he doesn't throw that hard.
He low-key benefits from like being kind of short stature, whereas like tall guys sort of have that natural downward kind of movement to it because they're so high and it's coming from that angle. When you're short, like Strider sort of does that same thing where he's so low in his delivery that he kind of benefits a little bit from that
It
as
looks like
well.
it's rising from the arm slot.
Yeah, he gets kind of decent IVB, but there are metrics that factor that in, like slot level along with IVB to get you a number. I don't really dabble with that stuff, but yeah, no, I mean,
the new era of tunneling.
Seriously.
Yeah. Bunch of things happening in the chat here. Woo woo, what's up, buddy? Yeah, I mean, tournament's fun, but you can put the tournament on the side thing. You could draft alongside us here. Pretty good. Any insight on the MLB buffet? No, just I hope it's more than last year, but last year, most days there would be $100 big fly, there would be the $25 like 2 max entry one, and then there would be a 20 and or 30K guaranteed main contest that was, it got up to 150 entries, but in the past it had been like 70 something, 80 something. I hope we can push that to like 50K guaranteed most days. The thing about baseball that's weird is I would prefer to have more main slates that kind of like cut some games, I guess, than like what we did last year, where it was like a 3-game morning slate, a 5-game, and then a 3-game late slate. You know what I mean? And having like 3 small contests. Like I would rather just have like one contest we draft each day.
Yeah, it is tough because of the different like start times and stuff, and then you can't fill certain things as much. One thing's for sure is I think we're definitely getting like a $3 max. I would think that's been like a really popular structure.
Yep.
We will get a big fly, the $100 single entry. We'll get our main $5, and then maybe like a 3 max in there too. But very excited to see what we get there. It's going to be a fun season.
Yes, sir. Let's do some scrolling here at the outfield position. Benson with Encarnacion Strand or Fraley?
Benson.
Okay. I think they'll hit closer together in the order too.
Yeah. Benson's fun.
We could do a Kelnick with Riley thing too. I forgot we took Riley.
Who with Riley?
Kelnick, who's just staring us in the face here.
Oh, I was thinking Riley Green for some reason. I'm like, wait, what? Oh, dude, I don't know. Kelnick scares the shit out of me. It's such a cheap price, but
yeah, it's fair. We need 2 more pitchers.
Yeah.
And probably an outfielder. I don't know. Up to you. What do you think? Tatis, Nimmo, Churio, Morel, Benson, Bryant, Lindor, Riley, Machado, Vinny P, Strand, Tovar.
I think you can go. This is like the push and pull I have, where it's like if I just tell myself I'm only starting 3 of these outfielders.
Yep.
And I want to start 4 infielders. I think you just take that 7th infielder.
Okay. Then I propose Jake Cronenworth.
Hell yeah.
Make that little San Fran stack there. And then we're going to close this out with 2 scroll the F down pitchers in a big way. Screwball Reagans, Cole, Darvish, Nestor Cortez, and 2 scrolls. Turn me up suggesting 866 time. Let's go 776.
Got to get a little power.
Yeah. Big Ass Ryan asking thoughts on the Lane Thomas, CJ Abrams, and Dylan Cruz. We did that one on stream in the $100 contest about 2 weeks ago. We took Dylan Cruz with the very last pick there. I'm always scared about guys getting called up on teams that aren't good. But like Cruz had a nice spring. I think Wood might get called up before him though. James Wood has had a really nice spring. And the thing that the Nationals are telling us right now is that they like dusty vets. Like they got Rosario, Gallo, and one other guy that they signed this offseason that I'm blanking on right now. And they're roadblocking their guys by design to some extent. They did not have to go out and sign Rosario late in the spring, late in parentheses, like 2 weeks ago, something like that. Joey Meneses is another one, and Nick Senzel was the other one. So, I mean, they're roadblocking their own guys in some respect here, and I think they do still hold up hope for Victor Robles. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Anyways, yeah.
I think that Lane Thomas I still think is very expensive in these drafts, but I don't think that Lane Thomas is a bad baseball player, and I think that you can look at some of the things that he did and kind of project positively for him based on the spray charts of him. I think that there's some pretty good signs there that he's starting to pull the ball a lot more. And I've made the CJ Abrams case time and time again on here. Dude was a former top prospect, uber athletic.
Part of the Soto deal.
A lot of speed with, some sneaky pop there. If he ends up getting stronger, he's got some big time upside. I think that people are kind of writing off CJ Abrams as though he's like Nico Horner. He's not that.
Right.
He's pretty good projectable player. All right, we got to do 2 pitchers here.
Yeah.
Getting some steam. I just saw Go Blue, Ben from Detroit, post something in there, but I'm okay if you don't want to take him.
Sure, let's take him. Taj Bradley's timeline isn't great, and they acquired him for a reason. And when the Rays acquire pitching, good things happen.
Yeah, your antenna should be up for sure. That I've been looking for a reason to take him, and I didn't really have a lot because of the results that he had last season were just so you cannot. It's such a small sample size, and it's also full of the most variance possible because of the BABIP and the left on base percentage that he had in that small sample. It's you can't glean anything from it.
Right. Yep. Entirely fair. Dong Mad Chill hit me with the other one. It was Jesse Winker, who was the other old guy.
Whoa.
So yeah, they're just roadblocking the shit out of Cruz and Woods, and just telling them that they're not ready. The 866 meta right now, just it's a low advance rate, but it's optimizing for 2 starts in the playoffs. It was the meta 2 summers ago when we first started drafting these contests and streaming to 1 viewer. Is there any Perez discount?
Dude, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing Yuri. I've been drafting AJ Puck.
Scherzer or Puck?
I think Puck.
Stone having the 5th rotation spot.
I know you love Stone.
Okay. I'll say 2 things about Stone because I think it's interesting. If you're going to extend a guy who you don't necessarily quote unquote need for the postseason, and you're going to ride an arm in the regular season, and then kind of save your Kershaws and Yamamoto's and whatever, you might be doing it on the back of an innings eater, like give Stone to eat the innings role, kind of like what they did with the Maeda plus Stripling combination 2-3 years ago. But once upon a time, Gavin Stone was a higher, more revered prospect in their organization than Bobby Miller was last year. So Gavin Stone was the guy that at this time last year we were talking about in not the same light as Bobby Miller because we'd never seen it before, but people were getting low-key excited about. So Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, it's interesting. He's their 5th starter.
Right. Yeah. Some interesting picks going down here. Dark Sheep taking Schneider there.
I like that.
Schneider. Yeah, that's a good one. Noda as a scroll. Jonathan India as a scroll. Mitch Haniger, who I love, who I've been taking a lot. Colton Cowser goes there, who was a scroll. Wow, Jason Dominguez. These are some fun scrolls all over the place here from people. I really like what I'm seeing. Yeah.
Jesus, man, that guy at the tail end. Holy shit.
On which one?
Our 101 there. Oh my god.
Yeah, he did the coveted 3 outfielder build and went heavy with the pitching stuff.
Nothing but boppers though.
Stuff. Yeah, and he's stacking too. Like, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, what is that? That's crazy.
He knows what he's doing, and then he stacks Suarez with Jock Peterson. Like, you can't fault a dude with a plan and a strategy. It's not what I would execute, but like, yeah,
he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he did. Anyone want to buy my team for $7? Paid's team
already there. Talking. Maybe the EV.
He's got a pretty good team. I don't see anything wrong with this. This is a nice team. Got the Lowe and Jung stack in here.
There you go.
Got some good pitching. He's clearly paying attention. Like DL Hall getting some love. Louis Varland was getting some love in other communities out, and then he got shelled yesterday or 2 days ago. That's a pretty good team.
Yeah, that's a pure hype team.
Yeah, it is a pure hype team. But it's a guy who's paying attention,
How many infielders did Dark Sheep end up with?
See 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
Yeah. Looks like
866.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.
Okay.
7, 6, 7.
6, 7. Yeah. I've done a lot of that.
Yeah, me too. My most common builds, 7, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7.
Yeah.
John C saying he went 6 pitchers. Is it dead from the 111? Absolutely not, man.
Nope.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Especially when you have those pitchers.
Yeah, especially when you have Strider and Gossman, right? Like, Gossman might miss a little time with the shoulder stuff, but, Joe Ryan should be pushing up people's boards because, there's a lot of uncertainty in some of these middle tiers here. Joe Ryan feels like he's been undervalued all draft season to me.
Yeah, I would agree. 6 pitchers can work. I mean, the Dinger winner 2 years ago ran 6 pitchers and technically 5, but that was a smaller finals and just a smaller contest in general. But he won the whole thing with 5 healthy pitchers all season. Drafted 6, 5 healthy pitchers all season and took it down. Pretty crazy.
Because it was a DeGrom team, right? Like, DeGrom was out all year.
He had John Means.
Oh, John Means. Yeah. All right, Nez, let's tie a bow on this bad boy. I was gonna try and do 2 drafts today, but you got a hard out at the 1:30, and I got a bunch of stuff I got to do before I got rid of it. Before I go away for the weekend here. Plus, Mr. Good Boy needs a rip. Okay. There we go. A 7-7-6, where we got the largest Garrett Cole fall I've seen yet. Down to 104. How did we land this plane here, Nez? We went Skubal, Reagans, Cole, Darvish, Cortez, Puat? I'm not going to screw up his name. How do you say it, Ryan?
How do you say it? I said Pepio.
Puat. But what did I say? Puat? It's not even close. Pepio. It's not even phonetic. Yeah. AJ Puck. That's funny. Riley Lindor, Machado. Oh, Vinny P. I'm not even going to go. Oh, actually, I could do Pasquantino. Encarnacion, Strand, Tovar, Cronenworth, Tatis, Nimmo, Trio, Morel, Bryant, Benson. How do we do?
This team seems pretty nice, man. I really like this team. We went 7 infield, which we been talking about more and more being optimal. I think you can be comfortable with these 6 outfielders. Nimmo is oatmeal, but those are points every week in that outfield spot. Mm-hmm. Morel, one of our favorites as well, and got some players we don't normally take.
Yeah,
as well. I mean, we don't do a lot of Tovar. Getting him with this stack is fun. Don't do Lindor ever. Yep. So I like this team and getting some new faces at pitcher. You did good, man. You did good. I mean, especially if we get obviously sooner than later Garrett Cole and he returns to form. Oh baby, this team's cooking with gas.
You what? Jesus. Julian says it's a good team.
Hey, if Ahmed Rosario himself says it.
Damn straight. Nez, before we sail off into the sunset here for the weekend, one, are you gonna do anything tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll do a hoops morning show.
Perfect. So we're gonna have hoops paywall content tomorrow with Nez. That'll be awesome. Set you guys up right for the slate tomorrow. And then, is there any guys that have come across your mind that we did not mention at all thus far over the course of spring, over the course of your drafting, that are of the scroll the F down variety that you think we should be getting in here?
We've talked about him a lot, but Ryan Noda, not drafted enough, got drafted last draft. Really, really into him. I just think he's good and not taken enough in these drafts. So really into Ryan Noda, and along with your boy Mitch Haniger, man, let's put his teammate Ty France on there. Yeah. Ty France is going to play every single day for the Mariners. Still has
he went to Driveline, man. He's fixing stuff too.
That's pretty bullish, man. I think he's way overlooked for a guy that, given the right matchup and dailies, will be a part of my player pool.
I like it. Anyone else that you could think of? I was talking the Cardinals stuff a little bit, like a Carlson and Donovan. I've done that mini stack once or twice, super late there.
I think the only other name that I'll mention, and maybe this is like too thin, don't do it, because he's no doubt hitting bottom of the order all season, but Orlando Arcia, starting shortstop for the Braves with zero competition to usurp him from that spot. I mean, getting a guy that plays every day for the Braves at undrafted ownership seems kind of good.
I like it. Yeah. All right, cool. Any other starting pitcher ones that you can think of? I was doing, I mean, they're starting to move up, but I was doing some Nestor. You did the Christopher Sanchez one. Ryan, pew.
Oh my God.
AJ Puck, who we just drafted, who looks to have a rotation spot there. Marlins are super weird, man. They're all left-handed. All their effing starters are left-handed. Even like Trevor Rogers coming back. Yeah, it is very strange. I do think that that's a low-key way that we could see Max Meyer make the rotation at some point this season, but probably, former top prospect, but probably too deep for this player pool. The Flaherty one, the Scherzer one, I've been mixing and matching. DL Hall, we saw go there. Gavin Stone as a rotation spot, but innings is a concern. Varland getting some hype.
I could go on for days at pitcher, man. There's a lot of pitchers that you've mentioned Dane Dunning in the past. I think that is like very much like in a player pool. We've got opening day starter for the Reds, Frankie Montas, going undrafted as well. He's definitely somebody that I think has, actual potential to be valuable for us in these games. Let's see who else. I still think Maeda is a fine pick.
Okay.
not doing so much Abbott anymore. And then like Patrick Sandoval, I don't know, man. Like it doesn't seem bad. It seems like you can really make a case for a lot of different guys.
Okay. Utility infielder Ernie Clement. Now he's having a nice spring for Toronto there. You could they traded away Espinal, could find his way to some playing time there. I think that's maybe the thesis that Dark Sheep had too with taking Davis Schneider.
I like Schneider more than Ernie.
Okay.
For that, if you're gonna play that game,
okay.
What if Davis Schneider comes out and just like, oh yeah, 110 WRC plus, I'm actually good.
Right.
He was absurdly productive in that short stint.
Very much so. Alejandro Kirk in that same vein, especially with Danny Jansen, going to miss some time, but that timeline looks shorter than it originally was. Sean Manaea looking good in spring. I actually did watch a little bit of that start the other day. He cut his hair too, so he cut his hair and shaved his beard. He cleaned his act up, so he's going to be balling out there. AJ Smith-Shaver, that Atlanta starter. That's an interesting shout. Just could be a back end guy. Griffin Canning, former top prospect kind of guy that could get some treatment in the Angels rotation. Yeah, I mean, you took who'd you take the other night? You took oh fuck
me.
Yeah, you're scrolling up down for the last round. Pitcher
is a pitcher.
Yeah, on stream
in the perfect game.
No.
Let me look.
Garrett Crochet.
Oh, that was woo.
Yeah. Opening day starter, left-handed, throws hard.
Oh my god, dude. No, that's he literally did that just for me. That was I'm flattered that he went that crazy. I'm like, John would be jealous that he didn't do it first.
Wu-Tang throwing out that Taylor McGill made the fifth starter there.
Wow.
Yeah. That was named this morning, so another name to potentially throw out there. I don't know. We should get creative with some of these scrolls. If we think they're going to get innings, is going to be like the number one thing for me. We'll talk some more this week, though. Have a fun weekend. Oh, Jose Quintana going to be opening day starter there, too.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's get scrolling, baby.
Love it.
All right. Not playing on Underdog Fantasy, use promo code MLB at signup to support us. But that's 100% match deposit up to $100 USD. I will be away this weekend, but I will definitely be drafting on the travel time to the Stag here, making sure I get my dingers in. I just fired up 20 more slows there. Nez will be there tomorrow for you guys for the hoops content. Best of luck in the hoop streets tonight. Best of luck in your drafts versus me. Best of luck with your dingers or your dingers and your March Madness brackets. Any other parting words, Nez?
Nope. I'll see you in the lobbies though.
Love it. Shout out to our guy Matt Wu-Tang Killer Beast.
Thank you.
The super chat earlier. Much appreciated. We will see you in the lobbies. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace. Pete dropped a new video in the Deposit Kingdom. It's pretty dope.